Hi, Farmer Steve coming at you from inside Kingswood Studio because it's raining today, as it has for pretty much the last 6 weeks. You're going to see the culmination of the next edition of Better Get to Know a Garden. It's spread out over 6 weeks because the weather's been so miserable that we couldn't get outside to do much. We had an 8-inch snow the middle of April, right after the asparagus was planted. Had to tarp that to keep it from freezing. Didn't do much good. Not much came up. Then we had another snow on Mother's Day, only about 2 inches, but it just froze everything out. The seedlings, the greenhouse could only do so much for the seedlings. They were pathetic. And then any time that it did come out, um, the seedlings roasted in there. So one thing I've learned, the greenhouse is helpful, but it's not the total answer. You just need some cooperation from the weather, which we rarely get. So with all ado, let's get going on the last 6 weeks of this momentous year. Okay, Farmer Steve here again, and we're getting ready to plant the asparagus. This is a big day. A lot of planning, a lot of work went into it, preparatory work. I'm going to show you here in a minute. But this is going to be an edited video that you'll see later. Today is the 16th of April. Kind of a gray, cold, crappy Northeast Ohio spring day. Yeah, I'm used to it. Okay, there's the real star right there, the little mantis that I bought for $100 used a few years ago. Worth every penny. Oh my God, that saved me so much back-breaking work. And here is our amended, ready to plant, tilled up asparagus patch. Plus I also did where the peppers are going to go. So I've got about a total of 30 bags, 40-pound bags of soil in there, a whole bunch of leaves that I put on the winter, rototilled it in. Now I'm going to dig the trenches, fertilize it, and I'll show you the planting, what these things look like. They kind of look like spiders from Mars. Okay, so you can see why we need to get the soil really nice and loose and broken up, because you got to dig about a 10-inch deep trench. Then you have to pile up a couple inches in the center of the trench. Then you have to fertilize it. Then you have to put these suckers in there. Then you have to spread them out, and then we're going to cover them up. And look at these. It's like Ziggy Stardust, spiders from Mars here. I'll tell you what, if you had to do this every year, nobody would get asparagus. This is a lot of work, but it's supposed to last 20 years. Hopefully, we'll see. Okay, last shot of the day. So then you go and you cover the crowns up till they're about 2 inches below the soil level. So you still got kind of a trench. And then as they come up, and hopefully they will come up, then you keep raking over the dirt until it's level. So we will see how long that takes. I've read as short as 3 days and as long as a couple weeks. So we'll see. Well, it's a big day at Hannah's Half Acre back here. Farmer Steve with you again. And is May, 26th? May 26th. And it's planting day. It's 27th, I'm corrected. So we're a little bit late, but that's because the weather's been late. If you remember, and I'm sure you do, we certainly do, 2 weeks ago Sunday we had snow. So it has been absolutely terrible. These puny little plants are what we're going to put in there, and that's it. Today I have some special help from Sasquatch, otherwise known as Mike Elias. He's going to be videoing and helping me plant. So what we've got here so far is the third planting of the asparagus. It's finally starting to come up. You can see I've had to order and replant 3 different batches. It because it just froze out, or it got rotted because it was so cold and wet. So I've spent most of the time just trying to keep these things alive. I think most of them are going to make it. Got a reserve row over here outside the garden. Nothing's up with that yet, so it may not be much of a reserve. Everything's been tilled and raked, and for the most part weeded. And the one thing I did plant over here was the herb garden. Okay, so this has all been turned over, and you can see that I've got stakes, numbered stakes, where everything is planted. Now I'm going to come up with a little map so you can keep track of this more easily. I don't even remember what's where right now, but you'll find out. Okay, so 3 hours later, Mike, 3 hours later, we are all planted. Mike and I got it. We got 10 tomatoes in. Some of them, but we planted them 20 times because we had to move them. And then we've got some squash down here, and some more squash up here. And then you'll see these little mounds, and that's where the three sisters, there's the corn plants, 5 corn plants that came up. The rest are going to start from seed. Then we're going to let the squash run out here, and cucumbers, 1 row, 2 rows, central watering system, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, tomatillas, and then these are so small, Anaheims and jalapeno peppers here. And probably throw in some more seeds here as well because the plant sproutings were so meager. Anyway, building back better, we hope, and we'll catch you next month.